Hi, I'm Thor, the Associate Director of Innovation at Dechert. We have a number of generative AI tools at our firm, but a frequent feedback item that I get from attorneys is that accuracy really matters. While there are ways for us to get around that, we don't have the size or depth of expertise that Macro does. So, for areas where accuracy matters, that's where Macro comes in. It also gives us a smooth interface for our users for everyday tasks. I think that's something that Macro has really mastered. The time of our attorneys is precious, and everyone likes a tool that's easy to use.
Hi, I'm Jacob Beckerman, founder and CEO at Macro. When we started talking to Thor about this problem, we saw it as an opportunity to use our tech and dev skills to help corporate attorneys. We knew we could create a tool that would make their work more efficient and help alleviate what they feel on a daily basis. So Macro is loved by our end users and used many hours a day. And with the release of new LLMs, we felt like a great opportunity to make Macro the delivery mechanism for asking questions, answering, and extracting things from your documents. While other companies are building standalone apps or plugins to the Microsoft suite, we saw it as a great opportunity to really innovate on the user experience.
So we work closely with the team at Macro to really get a product that helped us meet the needs of our attorneys. But the key here was we wanted a tool that was easy to use and understand, but also powerful enough to handle the complex nature of corporate legal work and legal work generally. It's really a delicate balancing act, and I think Macro has done a fantastic job to really getting this through.
Cool. We're really proud of the tool we've created together. It's already being used by lots of other clients, including AmLaw 50 firms, some of the largest corporate legal departments. And let's dive in and I'll show it to you right now. All right, so here we are in Macro, and you can see I've opened a credit document. This is a mix of a guarantee agreement, security agreement, credit doc. It's a very complex financing document. And in this, you can see Macro's core functionality, which we've had for a couple of years now, of taking your document and making it clickable and interactive. So I can ask things, I can click things like definitions and sections, and they'll all just come up right at my fingertips. Now on the left, you'll see the new tool that we built. You can ask it questions. For example, I could ask, what are the leverage ratios mentioned in this document? Leverage ratios are a key term in this type of document that's going to influence all the other terms sort of about this document in terms of interest rate and the debt that they can take on. So for now, we haven't enabled streaming because Macro is actually going to process and post-process its answer to make sure that it's not hallucinating. There we go. So here it mentions the document mentions several ratios. Specifically, it defines the leverage ratio. And here's where you see our Macro special sauce is that you can just click on this and it's going to bring you right back to the source. So you know that it's not making things up. You know it's referencing terms, and it's also providing really important context, right? So it's saying that this term leverage ratio is the ratio of consolidated debt. And I can just click on that. And now as I'm reading this term, consolidated debt, I can see that references indebtedness and so on. And I can go figure out what that means to consolidated adjusted EBITDA, right? It also gives me additional context here beyond the definition of what was in the leverage ratio. So it's telling me that there's this applicable leverage-based rate, and that thing is actually referencing the leverage ratio, right? So that term leverage ratio is being used within this other defined term, and this applicable leverage-based rate is a key term because this is defining the interest rate in the document. You can also ask questions like, how much new debt can the company take on? And this is going to follow up and take in the context of the prior questions. And while it's answering that, let me also show that Macro cites its sources now. So you can see here, of course, I have the references to define terms and sections that I can click on, but it's also going to cite all its sources in full. So I can see like leverage ratio, I can see it's consulted this section, and some sections it'll consult, but it won't actually use them in its result. But here you can see in the retrieval algorithm, which sections has it decided to consult in constructing its answer. Okay, now for a new question, how much new debt can the company take on? This is correct, right? You would need to know its financial statements in order to actually do the math in Excel of how much new debt the company can take on. However, it does mention the term indebtedness and so on, right? So instead of making up a number like 250,000 or something, it is providing you the right answer. It knows that it can't provide the exact answer, and it's leading you towards how you could do it. So that's Macro's new LLM integration in a nutshell. It integrates with our existing ability to parse all of the sections and terms and clauses and chapters out of the document and uses that to provide a superior experience when you're chatting and extracting information from your document.
So Jacob, a big aspect for us was information security. We represent a lot of financial institutions. And so can you talk about a little bit how this tool meets very, very strict confidentiality and security requirements?
Yes, we paid careful attention and designed the solutions to the needs of large multinational law firms. So it uses Azure, not OpenAI. We never touch OpenAI in any way. It has a private instance on Azure with shared IAM roles with our client security. So in this case, Dechert Security has the ability to access the Azure tenant. We're SOC 2, and this is in scope for a SOC 2. We never train on your documents. So the documents are immediately sent to Azure, they're deleted, and the answers sent back to you. We don't train on them, we don't store them. And finally, it's fine-tuned on legal documents. So I mentioned that we're using that retrieval algorithm, which consults the defined terms, sections, and so forth. So the understanding of the structure of the legal or financial document is really important to providing high fidelity answers.
Thanks, Jacob. That's great for us. At the end of the day, we're a law firm. We can build great tech solutions, but we really want to focus on those things that are specific to us. And we're not as interested in building tech solutions that are common to all law firms. And I think that's where someone like Macro can really excel. And we're glad that you've put this together.